Okay, so this video is to show you how to do a pretty basic domain verification with Google as a primary search engine. So with that, why do we do this? Verifying your domain gives Google basically the understanding that you are the person that owns the domain, right? So that when they're searching, they're indexing, there are laws of the internet. One of the laws of the internet is that every website needs to have a host and that the host needs to be contactable. So verifying your domain verifies that you are the host that owns the website and you can theoretically be contacted. Will you ever be contacted? Probably not. So in order to do that, you'll actually just do a quick Google search for Search Console. And then either one of these should take you to the right place, but you're looking for search.google.com. And this is where you can verify your domain. It will have you sign in with a Google account. I'm signed in with a temporary one. And then once you are signed into your Google account, you can either choose to add a URL address, which isn't going to be applicable for most people. For most purposes, we're going to be using the domain right here. So I actually have a domain I want to use for this. It's m-marketing.blog. Oops. And I'm going to hit continue. You don't need to include www or HTTPS. You just want the domain name. So from here, you're going to get a little window from Google, and they automatically detected that my website is registered at GoDaddy. This might be different if you have Google Domains set up, which is different from Google Search Console. But anyway, if you do have a different provider than the one that automatically asks for, then you can just click on any DNS provider, and then it'll take you through the more manual process. But with that, GoDaddy does have an automatic process where as long as you're signed into GoDaddy, you can just start the verification and it should automatically take care of it for you. But to be thorough, we're going to do any DNS provider here. So there's a couple different ways that you can verify your DNS inside of, or verify your domain. So the recommended is that you just add a text record. So we're just going to leave that. And then you sign into your domain name provider. So again, this could be GoDaddy, it could be Namecheap, it could be also be Google Domains, right? It could be a number of different places. And then you'll copy that text record into the DNS configuration. So what does that mean? We're actually just going to copy right here, or you could just highlight that whole thing and hit copy, but we'll just hit copy here. Then we'll go into the DNS settings for that domain. So I'll go into my GoDaddy account and click on the domain I'm editing. And then manage DNS. And then we're just going to want to add a text record here. And I think that's actually all we're going to need. So we'll hit add. And we're going to switch this to a text record at, and then you can just leave the TTL defaulted. All right. Once you have that verified, it might take a little bit for it to show up, but we're going to risk it for the biscuit. We're going to hit verify. Yeah, looks like they couldn't quite get that taken care of. So I'm going to pause this just 1 second and I'll come back once we have that proper amount of time. All right, so we've waited a little bit, and I did just want to point out a few things while we're waiting. So number one, if you didn't notice, every hosting provider is going to be a little bit different in how fast they update records. So just because I updated it here does not mean that it is immediately going to be available, nor does it mean that Google is immediately going to be able to verify the ownership of that domain, right? What it does mean is that I've done everything I need to do on my end with this TXT record to get it ready to go. Now, each hosting site's a little different. You did see that little pop-up in the corner. It can take up to 48 hours for text records to update. Usually they don't take that long with GoDaddy, but it is something that does occasionally happen. If that doesn't work, and if you need to get your DNS set up right away and you're in a little bit of a hurry, you might just sit here and hit verify a few times until it actually works, but notice here we are, right? We didn't have to do any extra steps in order to finish the verification process. All we had to do was wait a couple minutes, allow GoDaddy to update their servers, allow Google Search Console to connect and recognize that text record, and then everything was verified. Once that's done, your site has been verified on Google. Congratulations.